Mr. Speaker, let's set something straight about our tax cuts, so-called for billionaires. There are less than 800 billionaires in the United States of America. We kept taxes low for over 160 million Americans, and the Democrats all voted to increase taxes on 160 million Americans. As a matter of fact, most of those, Mr. Speaker, billionaires, over 70%, are huge Democrat donors. Why is the government still funding public television when most people have hundreds of channels, as has been mentioned, to watch their news or whatever they want to watch? Just because it's been around for 50 years, that's not reason enough. Unless we want to pass along $37 trillion and climbing of debt to our children, we have to start spending money on the must-haves, not on the nice-to-haves. And these stations are not only nice to have to some, they are not nice to have to most, and they are certainly not must-haves.
Only in Washington, D.C., could politicians come to the floor and brag about cutting $9 billion from rural radio stations, while they 2 weeks ago voted to increase the deficit by $4 trillion. $4 trillion. Spare us these lectures. For years, Republicans have lectured us and the country about so-called fiscal responsibility, the deficit, the debt. And then they have the audacity to increase the deficit by $4 trillion to pay for tax cuts for the 800 billionaires that my Republican colleague from Pennsylvania is so carefully tracking. It's shameful. This bill, make no mistake, Mr. Speaker, is a war on rural America. They are closing rural hospitals by virtue of the bill they passed 15 days ago, and now they will close rural radio stations. In the chairwoman's district in North Carolina, in my state, in Colorado, the western part of my state that I have the privilege of representing, rural radio stations across the country that help constituents during wildfires and during floods.
Gentleman's time has expired.
It should be rejected, Mr. Speaker. I yield back.
So here we are. Democrats couldn't seem to find a single thing to say about Epstein when President Biden was in office, but now they want to make this the centerpiece of their entire conversation. The fact of the matter is right now, the fact of the matter is...
The House will be in order.
The fact of the matter is
The gentleman will suspend.
The fact of the matter is they know it's true.
The gentleman will suspend. The gentleman may proceed.
The fact of the matter is they know it's true, and right now what they don't want to do is have the American people focusing on the Republicans in Congress who are doing the thing they sent us here to do, which is end wasteful spending, to stop the ridiculous spending of a bureaucratic government that has been weaponized against the people. Dollars that are being used and wasted being sent around the world for $32,000 for transgender comic books in Peru. That's how they want to use taxpayer money. We're over here trying to make sure we're saving that money. Instead of having $5 million to fund tourism or $6 million to fund tourism in Egypt, or $2 million for sex changes and LGBT activism in Guatemala. Why should the people of Texas be paying for that instead of paying to clean up the flood in Texas? The fact of the matter is the people of Texas want their money to be used for the things they care about. But we listen to the minority leader come to the floor and lecture us about the virtues of public radio and public broadcasting. Yet, nevertheless, the truth is it took NPR through Texas Public Radio 19 hours to post anything about the flooding on its social media pages after the floods hit in Texas. What was NPR and Texas Public Radio doing that morning? They weren't breaking to talk about what was happening in Texas. They were running ads saying people should call Congress to fund them. But the private stations in Texas were breaking to release reports and to tell people what to do, because that's what private stations can do, because they respond to the people, because they're locally owned, they're locally run, and they're not run by the bureaucrats from this town. The fact is, we're going to save money for the American people and end the absurdity of this leftist propaganda being put out under public radio. I yield back.
Gentleman yields back. Gentlelady from North Carolina reserves. Gentleman from Massachusetts is recognized.
Yeah, Mr. Speaker, my head's about to explode. That guy just voted to increase the debt ceiling by $5 trillion. And trying to blame Democrats for Jeffrey Epstein. Who was president when Jeffrey Epstein died in his cell? Donald Trump. And who's in charge now and blocking the release of the files? Donald Trump. So please, Mr. Speaker, I yield 1.5 minutes to the gentlewoman from Florida, Ms. Frankel.
Oh.
The House will be in order. Gentlelady from Florida is recognized for 90 seconds.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, we're witnessing a reckless, cruel, and short-sighted assault on American values, global leadership, and our constitutional responsibilities. Let's be clear. This is not a budget fix. It's a dangerous retreat from our role in the world. Foreign aid is just a sliver of our budget, but it saves lives, it prevents wars, and opens markets for American businesses. It's a smart investment in our national security. And as we speak, Mr. Speaker, there are millions of dollars of food that's been left rotting all over in ports, leaving massive numbers of people in conflict zones starving. And this is all due to the chaos and mismanagement of the White House. And this is not fiscal responsibility, it's moral failure. This bad bill pulls millions of children out of school, leaves small farmers without tools, wipes out access to clean water, and cuts off contraception for women and girls. Meanwhile, our adversaries are stepping in. China and Russia are seizing influence as we retreat. This bill sees Congress's power of purse, giving one man the authority to cancel funds we've already approved. I call us the disappearing Congress. And that's not how democracy works. It's how autocracy begins. Vote no on this very bad bill. I yield back.
Gentlelady yields back. Gentleman from Massachusetts reserves.